On and off the water, when it comes to safety, there is no compromise. So always read and follow all manufacturers' guidelines. Today we're working on the fuel tank of my 21-foot trophy. And today's project has a challenge rating of 8 out of 10. In order to save the battery boxes, we have some more grinding and sanding to do. There's 40 grit on the grinder, 60 on the belt sander, and 60 for the new dual mode sander. This variable speed dual mode finishing sander can remove material or sand surfaces when finishing. After today, we pretty much complete the grinding phase, and that's great news for everyone. I encourage anyone considering such a project to invest in quality tools and personal protective equipment. If you were to grind Gelcoat like this without proper PPE, you could suffer serious lung injury. I am trying not to destroy the transducer cable that's in the way while I remove Gelcoat as far as I can reach. This area will not be easy to fiberglass, but with quality surface preparation, it should work out okay. I will have to remove the cable before any attempt at fiberglassing, and that means removing it all the way from the helm. This is the extent of my reach using a power tool, so repairing the battery boxes will be a real challenge. Reaching by my fingertips, I'm just able to sand the edges of the platform, and there's no way I can access this area from above other than to paint the platform. I will be able to apply resin and Gelcoat with a brush, but effectively laminating without air bubbles and voids will be very difficult. So I'll repair the best I can and prevent any further damage. And with resin and Gelcoat, these will last another 5 years and beyond. My new house battery is maintenance free and does not vent any gases, so I'm optimistic this problem is solved. And this sander is a major upgrade, and I want to see it remove material. This is a professional piece of equipment, and I'm feeling pretty good about now. And there's another setting still. And the old one-handed technique. Ow! Oops. Well, I think I'll use two hands this time. It won't have much effect removing Gelcoat compared to a grinder, but it takes care of this plywood like a charm. It will help during fairing and finishing, and by choosing Gelcoat over paint, I have reduced sanding required between coats. I prepare to fill the holes in the stringer using the wood rasp to get to fresh material, and fitting these 1-inch plugs into the holes. I'll fill with reinforced resin and cap with some chopped strand mat. We're in the final stages of prep, so cleaning the surface before sanding is more important than ever. And there are a few areas here and there that need reinforced resin or fillets. So I'll clean and sand these as I prepare for the first resin. I am preparing all of the fabric in advance. I start with the tabs and work systematically through every piece. I have decided to do 2-layer tabbing with 4-inch and 6-inch strips. I have to cut 8 of each, and that's just for the stringers and bulkheads. The frayed strands allow the material to feather out and lay flat, or entwine and provide strength. For tabbing in corners, this is very important, especially with a restoration like this, where most surfaces are uneven. But tearing a consistent line is easier said than done. The surface is slippery against the straight edge, and it's difficult to tear in a consistent line. Squeeze too hard and the strands seize up. But these fibers will conform to just about anything. So it's chop strand for radius repairs and base layer, with biaxial 1708 cloth for all large spaces, the hull, bulkheads, and the tops of the stringers. I start with the stringers and finish with the large hull sections outside the tank area toward the battery boxes. The scissors are okay, but those electric shears are looking pretty good about now. If I were doing a larger project, I would definitely invest in the electric scissors. I lay everything out, label it, and try not to forget a single piece. This is my first attempt at a template for the bulkhead. It's 3 sections that overlap, and I will double check these before cutting into this expensive fabric. By test fitting the template, I also get a sense of how challenging each piece will be to install. All of these wires and cables have to be secured out of the way, and I'll be reaching far over the stringer. A few minor adjustments here and there, and I'll be comfortable transferring the template to the fabric. I cannot forget that a new tank has to fit here, so I don't want any bulges or excessive buildup. And with grade 4 art skills, I'm able to transfer the adjustments to a new template. The second test fit goes well, and I'm comfortable with the fit. I purposely made them a little small to have a cleaner edge and avoid having to sand pokey, sticky bits. These large pieces are on top of tabbing, so essentially they lock in the corners and hold it all together. And special attention must be paid to the lower drainage area that leads to the bilge. Here are the layers on the forward bulkhead. 2 layers of 1708 on a chop strand base, extending the life of the bulkhead by decades. And the process continues with the smaller sections on the forward bulkhead, 3 layers over tabbing. As I understand it, tearing the chop strand is preferred, but it isn't easy, especially in detailed areas and corners. Instead of ripping the cloth to pieces, I concede and use the scissors. Eventually, I'll figure it out, but for now, I'm going with the scissors. The framing square was the best straight edge so far, but sometimes I really struggled. Look at how I massacre the bottom edge of this section. The fabric is quite slippery and will easily separate vertically, but horizontally, that's a different matter. I can't say that it is crucial in this application, but it could be. I was just cutting to minimize waste. But a transom or stringer, something under heavy stress, it absolutely would matter. So it might be something to consider during the gunnel project, when I maximize strength for mounting my downriggers, or on the side walls in the cabin project where the most stress from impact occurs. Paying attention to the weave is something I'll have to consider more closely. And you can see how easily the fabric is displaced if you're rough with it. I want to use carbon fiber fabric on the dash, and that stuff is even more delicate. So this is good practice for those high visibility, quality finish areas. I roll the layers together with their template and add it to the queue. My goal is to glass from start to finish in one session, so every little piece has to be ready. Here is the entire tank area in order, ready for glassing. And this is where laminating resin comes to shine. Each step can be applied successively without sanding. Starting with the plugs in the stringer, to tabbing and capping the top of the stringer. When the stringer is complete, we do the larger bulkhead sections. These are large areas that will take a lot of resin. I expect to take 2 days to glass in the stringers and bulkheads in the tank area. Thank you for joining me today on Project Trophy. Hit subscribe and you'll be notified of the next episode. Please like and leave your comments or questions below.